Hello, and welcome to the World of Autism podcast, a podcast about all things autism. I am Dr. Jeff Knight, and I'm on a mission to create hope, peace of mind, freedom, and confidence for these children with autism, and in serving their families to help create the happiest, healthiest versions of themselves. In this podcast, we dive deep in creating many different solutions, talking about resources, and providing insight and stories of hope for families that suffer and have challenges with autism. Please join with me, and I look forward to connecting with you. Hello, and welcome to the World of Autism podcast. I am your host, Dr. Jeffrey Knight, and it's great to be with you again. I wanted to jump on and, with the topic today, go over a few things that we've already discussed to some degree. We're going to talk a little bit about, or more about, organic food and why that's important. And specifically, I know a big thing that can overwhelm a lot of people is looking at the price tag for organic food. Oftentimes, when you go into the grocery store and you are shopping, you will see that organic food is not cheap, unfortunately. It's definitely more expensive than your normal produce or other things that are for sale that aren't considered organic. So if the budget is tight and if you are feeling in a pinch in terms of your budget with shopping and buying groceries, then here's something that I would encourage you to do. Now, the Environmental Working Group, so EWG.org, it's a nonprofit organization. They put out a lot of wonderful information with the focus and intent of helping others be more safe and more aware of what's in their environment and what they're consuming. So they've created what's called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Now, if like I said, if money seems to be more of a challenge in terms of buying produce, well, at least do your best to make the effort to buy foods that are organic that fall under the topic of the Dirty Dozen. And what does the Dirty Dozen mean? Well, these are fruits and vegetables that have been found to have a higher amount of pesticides, herbicides, and other potential chemicals that could be more harmful and toxic to you and your body. I would say the biggest one that I'm concerned of the most is glyphosate. And you know what? We need to actually create a whole podcast episode just on glyphosate alone. There's some brilliant people that have done a lot of research on glyphosate and how that has been such a connection with some chronic illness and some of these awful chronic conditions, just to name a few, autism being on the top of that list. And I share that because of the podcast we're on, but Alzheimer's is another one, and some other chronic illnesses as well. So, but those are two big ones that a lot of people are concerned about, and so let's jump into looking at what's the Dirty Dozen, because if it's the part of the Dirty Dozen and if it's not organic, then you can be confident that there's glyphosate and that there's other herbicides and insecticides that have been and different pesticide residues that are on there, and that makes it so that, okay, you're just adding an extra burden to your body by ingesting some of those foods. Now, naturally, I know when it comes to farmers and the Food and Drug Administration, if it's really harmful, they wouldn't put it out there for sale. So you can have some peace of mind knowing that it's not going to kill you in the moment, or it's not going to necessarily, cause some crazy disruption. Now, however, there's some people that are a little bit more sensitive than others. And there's some people that really may react and respond negatively to some of those insecticides, herbicides, pesticides, and of course with glyphosate. So, let's talk about the Dirty Dozen. So here's the foods. You definitely do everything in your power to buy organic or grow yourself. Then you can be more confident and certain that you are going to be eating foods that are going to be healthy, and not have all those chemicals. So number one is strawberries. Strawberries, dirty dozen. Okay, that's the top of the list. And when you look at these fruits and vegetables, it will make sense that these are part of the dirty dozen. And when you compare them to the clean 15, you will see they actually have more of a covering or a shell or a protection that allows the most edible part of the fruit or vegetable to be covered up. So it makes sense that some of these things are dirty and some that are clean. So let's continue through this list. And again, you can go on to the environmental working groups website, ewg.org, and check this out yourself and print out this list for yourself. But so strawberries is number one. Spinach is number two. Number three is kale and collard and mustard greens. Number four is nectarines. Number five, apples. 6, grapes. 7 is cherries. 8, peaches. 9, pears. 10, bell and hot peppers. 11, tomatoes. And 12 is celery. And I guess celery and tomatoes actually, I think I mixed those two up. Yeah. So there's your list of the dirty dozen. Okay. So all those fruits and vegetables definitely are going to be more exposed to those chemicals because of just the nature of that fruit and vegetable. When you look at the Clean 15 list for 2021, and I'm grateful to learn of three of the top 4 are some of my favorite things to eat when it comes to fruits and vegetables. Number one for Clean 15, this is where you can feel safe and comfortable knowing if you are buying something that's not organic and not as expensive, that these foods are going to be a little bit safer for you in the sense that you won't have as much of the pesticide, herbicide, insecticide on it. Now, is there still glyphosate on all this stuff? Yeah, unfortunately there is. So you're decreasing the amount of insecticides and pesticides and herbicides, but there's still going to be glyphosate because it's not 100% organic. So that's the big question and concern. Again, if you're trying to minimize the risk and exposure, then this is better than nothing, okay? So the Clean 15, here we go. Number one, avocado. Number two, sweet corn. Now, just a note on corn, it is probably that and soy being the highest crops in the country that are genetically modified. So take note on that. Genetically modified means they are changing the genetic makeup of that fruit or vegetable and doing that in a way to produce more, create more yield. Okay, so corn, you got to be a little careful with corn. Definitely, I know most families that have children with autism would agree with me that corn is not something that does well. So I would just, proceed with caution when it comes with corn. If you are going to eat corn, definitely choose to go organic. But again, this is just the Clean 15. I'm just reading what the Environmental Working Group put out there. So you can take this or leave it. So again, avocado, number one, sweet corn's number two, pineapple is number three, one of my favorite fruits. Number four is onions. I love onions. Again, caution with onions if you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Onions can cause a wreck on your digestive tract if there's some sensitivity with SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Number 5 is papayas. 6 is sweet peas, and they actually put frozen sweet peas here. Number 7, eggplant. 8, asparagus. Gotta love some asparagus. Number 9 is broccoli. 10 is cabbage. 11, kiwis. 12, cauliflower. 13, mushrooms. 14, honeydew melons. And 15, cantaloupes. All right, so there's your clean 15. And again, makes sense. A lot of those fruits and vegetables, you're going to have to, the majority of them, you'll have to either pill or cut into or open up to get into the actual vegetable and fruit. So this is something that I feel can be a good applicable thing for anyone to just have that information and to utilize that. I know we're all trying to do our best to eat healthy, to put good foods into our body. And these are some good things just to be aware of, so that if you feel like financially paying for organic foods is going to be difficult for you, well, at least focus on trying to buy things in the Dirty Dozen list that are organic. And again, the big concern about not organic, even though there may be less pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides on those, the glyphosate is still the issue. So we definitely are going to need to spend some time on glyphosate and break this down and share a lot of information on that. But you know what? I'm just excited to share this information and try to bring more good tips and resources to you and your families. I know that it is a journey. It is a journey that we're on, and we're all trying to do the best we can. This is going to be a short podcast today, short and sweet, but I wanted to, share this info with you. Make sure that you're aware of this. A lot of people have no idea how to get this information and that it even exists. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Definitely share this with others. And as always, as part of the World of Autism podcast, it is sponsored by the Autism Wellness Center of Utah, which is a nonprofit organization that I have, and where I actually consult and coach and even provide treatment for families with autism. Check out our website at autismwellnesscenter.org, and there's ways to donate there if you want to donate to our cause. We put the money that we receive from donations, and we put it towards paying for laboratory tests or supporting families that, again, can't necessarily provide the payments for treatments that they want for their children, but they know that they need. So there's different ways we utilize those dollars. So this is always a pleasure. Again, Dr. Jeff Knight, and looking forward to connecting with you on the next one. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.